Hi, I'm Ashley,
And I'm Jesse.
and this is the Love Story Podcast. Welcome to reality and to the Love Story Podcast. Old Jess, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, old Ash. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
That's good to hear.
What are we talking about today?
Well, today we're going to be talking about the...
You have been a hound for this movie. You have been like a hound to the scent. You have wanted to find this movie into our rotation.
The Notebook.
Yes.
I like this movie, and I think it's a great story.
Have you seen, like, there was like a meme of sorts that was circulating that said when you're a teenager, you think that Noah and Allie are the be-all, end-all to relationships, and now as an adult, you realize they're both just awful and toxic? Mm-mm. Oh, that's the thing that has circulated on my social medias. How do you feel about that? Do you think they're awful and they're both just the problem? They're both awful?
At certain points in the movie, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, she hits him a lot, and...
Yeah, I don't like their visit.
well,
how do we want to... Do we want to just jump right into that, or how do we want to...
Let's do a brief synopsis of the film.
You know what? I will allow that. Go ahead. Synopsis away.
Thank you for your permission. So the basis of the movie is an elderly couple. One has dementia. The other is reading a story. We find out later it's an effort to get her to remember, and the story is revealed to be their love story. And we follow Noah and Allie as, you know, it's a flashback to them growing up, growing apart, growing back together.
It starts out where they're at the fair and they meet. Noah sees Allie from across. His friend Finn is dating Allie's friend. And so they see each other.
Allie is in town for the summer.
And he sees her and he's like, oop, I gotta have her. And he climbs up the Ferris wheel and dangles there and makes a big show and a spectacle of getting her attention. She was kind of a mean girl to him.
Yes, absolutely.
Very dismissive.
But still looking at him to try to string him along type of thing.
Yes. Yeah, I think it definitely was very like a power and control dynamic. For someone who, you know, grew up on a southern plantation in the 40s, I think to have always had money and to always have kind of been that, like, I know I'm desired to some degree, you know?
Yeah.
She kind of, I think you're right, I think she's toying with him like a cat and mouse.
Yes.
And then finds herself just kind of enamored with him. Enamored with the simple laugh, the simple country laugh. When do you think she falls in love with him? I've got it in my brain.
That's a good question. You go first then.
When she comes up to him reading Walt Whitman to his dad. They're sitting on the porch and he's just reading poems to his dad out of the book.
I would agree. I think he comes up on the bicycle and hears him. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think for her, this is purely speculation, growing up with money. I think she's used to grand gestures, and I think she's used to like the comfort and the security. And we'll take a squeaky chair break. You good?
I can readjust. It's okay. I'm setting boundaries. I can readjust.
I think the chair is trying to set boundaries with you.
Yeah, well, can't stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen. Just thinking about frying chicken wings now.
I know. We should do that for dinner. Soup and chicken wings.
All right.
Okay, I'm glad we figured out our menu.
Thanks for joining us.
Menu break, yeah. I think she's used to grand gestures, and I think she's used to, like, over-the-top, you know, love being this, like, big show and whatever.
What makes you think that? Because not that I disagree, what evidence do we have that she's used to that?
Well, her parents have thrown these, you know, dinner parties and kind of the standard that the mom has set of this kind of the standard of excellence. You are the prize, you know, whatever. I think when she walked up and saw Noah reading to his dad, I think it's just a simple thing.
I guess I would challenge that a little bit, take on it, because she is exposed to that, to these grand gestures and exposed to this extravagant life, but she resists it from the very beginning.
Well, she resists a lot from the very beginning. She resists her family, and she resists the money, and she resists all of that because she had made the comment where she said, we make all these big decisions as a family, and I'm going to be going off to a big fancy college and whatever, and that's what's right. And so she's very...
wants to resist it, but she doesn't actually choose to resist it.
Right. Until she has a reason to resist it. It's almost like she is uncomfortable in the life set up. I mean, obviously there's a degree of discomfort in the life set up by her parents because she chooses to go down an entirely different path for as long as she did with Noah.
Yeah.
Do you think if her parents would have stepped in earlier on, if that would have turned her more towards him, or if they would have been able to stop it?
I think they would have been able to stop it.
I think so too.
Because I think she does, like you said, I think she does display some, well, this is the way I'm supposed to be. So let's do this. Let's do it, do it the way my parents say. It's interesting that they didn't step in earlier, especially with her mother's concern and history. Yeah. The way she had experienced a similar type of love, which we find out later in the movie. She had experienced that, but doesn't step in until summer's pretty much over.
Yes. And then it becomes a big dramatic thing. Now she's being shipped off right away.
You're not going to see that boy anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anymore.
Your old Southern mom voice is...
Thank you. I've been working on it.
I can tell.
Thank you.
Practicing. Is that what I've been hearing in the bathroom mirror?
Yes.
When you're in the bathroom by yourself? Wow.
That and Jack Nicholson.
Well, I think you have a more natural talent for old Southern mom.
Yeah. I've been told that a time or two. But anyways, back to the film.
So they kind of fall into this like puppy dog love. We'll talk about young them before we talk to, because old them and young them are kind of intertwined throughout the movie.
Yeah.
I think young them, what I really don't like about their relationship dynamic is like, I don't like the physical fighting. I don't like the slapping and the hitting and the, like, she's pushing him around and whatever. And they have they're like, it's romanticizing these like big physical fights. And then this like big, like, then he comes in and grabs her and pulls her in and like restrains her essentially in this like loving embrace or whatever. And then she just like melts into him.
Yeah.
I don't like that dynamic.
I agree.
I'm surprised that this is a story that has that dynamic involved and then they become this like old loving couple. Because, yeah, I think it's pretty toxic. But I think if we set that aside, because it also is not a huge part of the story. It's just a part of this, like she lashes out when she's angry and whatever. Yeah. I think they have a cute relationship. What do you think he is thinking, Noah?
Could you be more specific?
Hold on.
What do I think he's thinking?
Yeah, what do you think?
Depends.
Hold on, I had a thought that got completely
like,
derailed by
he's
a
thinking,
sneeze.
I'm kind of hungry right now. And he's like,
No.
I should put on my jacket.
97.
It's cold.
What do you think? How do you think
what am I
he...
at?
98. I know, even with your 3 sneezes today, you can't pull away. So, yes, what do you think he's thinking? Like, he sees this woman that he's like, oh, I gotta have her, right?
Yep.
And he tracks her down and woos her, essentially. Do you think that he is thinking, like, this relationship has an expiration date?
I don't think he's thinking that far ahead. I think he sees her as who he wants to be with, and I think that's as far as he gets.
Do you think he's uncomfortable in situations with her family?
Absolutely. I think he definitely displays moments of being uncomfortable and feeling inadequate, but it has nothing to do with her.
Right.
It has everything to do with him and
the subtleties of her Southern parents making
Yes.
him feel that way. I think what is interesting about that character, the Noah character, and the Jack Dawson character, is Jack is just like, he's very cheeky and he's just very like, he comes into a situation and he's almost like he's in on the joke with them. He's got his own joke, and Noah's character is very like a little bit more reserved, a little bit more uncomfortable, a little bit more of like, I would rather just stay in my humble country home.
And now that we're talking about it, I'm kind of going to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
Because I don't think he really shows that, The only interactions that they have are when they ask how much money he makes, and he just puts it out there.
Sure.
I don't think we can speculate that he's uncomfortable, but it doesn't really display it.
No, he just displays his acceptance. He displays his integration into that differently than like the Jack Dawson character does.
Whereas Jack Dawson kind of goes sort of overcompensates a little bit by the quips and the cheeky comments, as you put it. You know what I mean? And Noah's character is just kind of like, this is don't want to be here. This is how I am, and that's it. Yeah. So that's an interesting dynamic of it. I don't think he particularly shows being too uncomfortable. Right. He's just somewhere he wants to be with her.
Yeah, and then they go off to the old house together, and that was the night that kind of their relationship ended after that, because then Finn comes running in and he's like, they're looking everywhere for her and whatever, because they did have just kind of like a whirlwind fun romance throughout the summer. And I think they were when they went to the house, they were making plans of like, I want it big wraparound porch, I want a white house with blue shutters, I want, and they were very much planning a life together. And then this is kind of after the parents had told her that she's going to be going to New York instead of Charleston and whatever. So they're going to have much more of a long distance thing. I think they were still planning on doing life together. And yeah, he was going to buy the house and he was going to do the thing. And then cut to he does. So she goes off, she gets shipped away, and then he's
writing her every day.
Yes. For a year. She's
not receiving
the mother
letters.
Is intercepting them.
Yep.
And then she says she waits for him for 7 years, and then she goes off and falls in love with another man after the war. He goes to the war, she goes to the war, and she's a nurse, volunteers as a nurse. And then he comes back, buys the house, fixes it up, and she's off with this other man.
He's with another woman who does not do it for him.
I don't know that he's necessarily with another woman. I would say that he is just kind of casually like seeing her. I don't think that's accurate. I think because he says something to the effect of he was with whatever her name is. Martha?
Yeah. They say that. She is trying to get more than he's willing to give.
Martha? Yes.
Yeah. In her estimation, it's not casual. In his estimation, it's just a filler.
Yes.
But I do think that it's a regular thing.
Okay. And she is engaged to Lon. Allie is engaged to Lon. And he's this big, fancy Southern businessman with cotton money. Yep. And the parents love him and whatever. And she seems to really love him too. But
what is the problem in that relationship? She can't be herself. I don't think it's that she can't be herself. It's just he doesn't bring that out in her.
Right.
He fits the mold that her parents want.
Yes.
For her, whereas Noah brings out her true self and who she really wants to be.
Hey, Love Story listeners, it's Ashley, and I have a very important confession to make. I recently did something extremely dangerous. I bought my fiance's wedding ring online. But before you judge me, I bought it from Modern Gents, and honestly, I feel kind of like a genius. Wedding planning is expensive. Like, why is this napkin $14 expensive? So when I found Modern Gents, which makes gorgeous handcrafted wedding and engagement rings that look luxury but don't cost we need a second mortgage money, I was sold. They use conflict-free stones, have tons of styles, inclusive sizing, free and fast shipping, easy returns, and a lifetime warranty, which is great because if my fiance loses his ring, I would like to replace the ring and not the fiance. The ring looks amazing, like suspiciously amazing for the price. And Modern Gents has over 1 million happy customers. So I'm clearly not the only one making elite financial decisions over here. So if you're engaged, getting engaged, or just emotionally preparing for how expensive weddings are, go check them out. Head to moderngents.com using the link in the show notes below for a special discount and find your perfect ring. So what then is a definition of a true self? Because it's just a different, I think, part of her. Noah nurtures a different aspect to her, brings out the more creative side. And I think Lon brings out a more practical. I don't even necessarily want to say practical. I think it brings out more of like the socialite. I think it's just like her priorities are different when she's with him.
Yeah.
And then when she's with Noah, it's more of, it seems like from what we saw, the relationship between Allie and Noah turns towards they are in their own protective little bubble. They kind of turn into each other and they've created an ecosystem that they thrive in. Yeah. Whereas her relationship with Lon is their circle is wider and their bubble has been opened up to much like Allie's mom and dad they're having the parties and they're having it's the show of wealth and whatever. Yeah. That's her life with Lon. But really, she wants to live a more simple life. So now I asked, what do you think is the problem in her relationship with Lon? And it was that they have not created their own intimate ecosystem between the two of them. What you see when you see Allie and Noah together is you see them just like, they hang out kind of with a group and whatever, but they're very touchy of each other and they're very intimately affectionate with each other. And her relationship with Lon is they're out with the parents and they're, doing things out with other people.
And she definitely enjoys herself when she's with Lon. And I think Lon is a good guy, but she doesn't, I don't even think she realizes that she misses Noah until she sees it in the paper.
Right. She's in her wedding dress and she's got all her gal pals around and mom is there and whatever. And they open up the paper because they're reading an article about how the governor is coming and it's going to be this like,
Your Southern mom accent is
No, that was
really...
not.
Oh,
that was
sorry.
that was
Okay,
my
your Southern young
belle.
woman accent
Yes, thank you.
is really good.
Thank
Is that
you.
what I keep hearing in the bathroom? Oh, my God.
That's what you hear when I'm talking to myself, when I'm sleep talking, you know? I'm just...
Oh, my God.
This is my true personality coming through. What if you found out right now that I was actually from the South and I've been putting on a Minnesotan accent this whole time?
I think my whole world would be turned upside down. I wouldn't know what to do. I would seek help. I would seek professional help. I couldn't.
Stop. You're just humoring me.
No, absolutely not. It's the truth.
You know,
what would you do if you found out that I was a Southern belle? Would you be surprised?
I would.
Probably
It would make so much more sense. Our relationship would make so much more sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are just the Southern diva, you know, just a Georgia peach.
Yes. All right. Moving on.
I am very prone to picking up accents. And so if we were to be in the South for like a week on vacation, it would be tough. You would hear an entirely different...
We would both do it.
I know.
Absolutely.
And then we would
I would
get
not
stuck.
be able to resist.
I know. And then we would
Should
get
we
stuck.
pick it up from here? Just start right now?
If we do, it's going to get real annoying.
I insist.
I can't, if we go any further, I won't be able to stop.
All right, let's stop. Then.
Okay, but I mean it.
Back on track.
Yes. So they see in the paper that this is going to be the wedding of the century, and then open it up to the below the fold, and we've got Noah with his hands stuffed in his pocket, standing in front of a White House with blue shutters.
Do a presentation of what she does.
Of when she collapses.
Yeah, do it.
It's not good for podcasting.
Oh.
You know, because you would just hear. Yeah.
Okay.
She hits the deck. She passes out and hits the floor. Mom says, "Oh goodness!" And then she goes to Lon, and she said, "So, in that moment, do you think?" Well, because they had said when she got engaged, she said, and Allie just couldn't understand why the first thought that she said when she realized that she was engaged was Noah's face flashed before her eyes.
Yeah.
It kind of is that, like, he's her lobster, you know, and that's her person and whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe she hadn't thought about him in years, but now he's coming up, they're engaged, she's getting in her fancy dress with all of her ladies, and then sees him because there is this, like, kind of fate pulling everything through, pulling them together.
Right.
And she goes to Lon and she says, "I'm just not right. I got to go to Seabrook and whatever." And he's like, "Okay."
He's like, "All right, go Seabrook then."
"Is everything okay?" And she said, "Yeah, it's all right." And he says, "Well, all right then. I'll see you in a few days."
All right, okay.
So then off she goes to Seabrook, and she pulls up to Noah's house, and she's all shaky.
He's like,
and
he's like,
it's not good for podcasting.
Blocking the sun.
Yes. And sees her pull
I feel
up.
like there's a camera there, though.
Yeah, but that's only good
I was
for...
using it for content. He's like, "What is that?" Yeah.
Okay, do it again.
What is that?
This won't be on the podcast. This will just make the video version.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Come on, move it along. Move it or lose it.
Okay, and he comes out and he's just like, "You come up, you're just going to show up." Basically, he doesn't say this, but it's like, "You're going to show up at my doorstep," and she's like, "Everything's good. I just came to check on you, see if everything was good." And he gives her nothing.
She
and
doesn't
she's
really
like,
have a draw, though.
light. She has light Southern drawl. Anyhow, then she's like, "Okay, well, okay then." And then
Stop it.
I'm just trying to be historically accurate.
Got it. Okay.
So she's, "All right then." And then she goes to drive away and crashes into his fence and whatever.
Yes.
And he's like, "Do you want to come inside?" And she's like, "Sure." They come inside, have a nice meal together. And then they're just kind of lightly talking. She's talking about, like, she's a little mean girl here too. She said, "I'm a married woman." And he's like, "Not yet." And she was like, flashes the ring all like,
"What up?"
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Okay then." And then he says, "Can I take you somewhere?" Do they go somewhere after
No,
this?
he says, "Will you come back tomorrow morning?
Oh, yes.
I want to show you something or
Yes. And that was,
something." Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And so then she leaves, goes back to the room, talks to Lon. He called her, and she was just like, "Oh my God, I don't want to be talking to this man."
It's all good.
Yeah,
Don't
everything's fine. I gotta go. And then moves along. All
Yeah.
she's thinking about is Noah. So at this moment in the relationship in the movie, because for me, it's not a secret that we had engaged in activity while we were...
What do you mean?
Don't say it like that. When we were not together in
What do you mean?
Whatever do you mean? I'm a lady.
I'm a lady. Oh my gosh.
When we were not together, but we would get together, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. not good for podcasting.
It's not good for podcasting. It's not good for... Well, I mean, listen, I got the guy in the end, so who cares?
What the heck?
When we would get together, I know the feeling of her. She comes back and she's on the phone with this guy that she's betrothed to.
Right.
And she's trying to have, she's in this place of like, this is not the relationship that I want. It's the relationship that I'm in.
When do you think she realizes that?
That it's not the relationship that she wants. It's not shown on camera, but I think the time between leaving his house and going back to the hotel before he calls. I think Lon kind of screwed himself when he called her and put her on the phone. Oh, maybe not, I guess. Because I think
I don't think it's a matter of him screwing himself. I think she had already made up her mind.
I think if he would not have called, would she have laid there and tormented herself with thoughts of like how she was doing the wrong thing? Or was it talking to him on the phone and then realizing that she was like, I don't want to talk to this man?
I think it was already determined.
I think so.
Before she
you're
even
right.
called.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that if I had to estimate when she had realized that she was in a tough spot and that she wanted that this was not the relationship for her, would have been on the drive back to her.
So what are some, you said that you had some similar circumstances with you and I. What are some of the feelings? What are some of the
feeling of
thoughts?
She gets back and she's on the phone with him and she's just like, I just don't want to be talking to you, know? And it's not for anything that he's done. It's just, my heart belongs to another, where it's just, this is...
Do that again?
My heart belongs to another.
I love that. I love when you talk like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, where it's not anything that these other men have done wrong. It's just, you're just not the one,
Yeah.
And I think she could have which is evident by what the mom had said when so the mom shows up, she goes and spends the next day. Allie comes back the next morning. They go for a rowboat ride amongst the ducks. And
then they rowboat each other. You know what I mean? They grab each other's paddles and hit the water.
Yeah, just if the rowboats are rocking, don't come
a
knocking.
All right.
Yeah, let's bring this boat into the dock and
I'm sorry, they grabbed each other's paddles.
Yes, it happens, it's a completely normal thing.
It is an oft forgotten euphemism.
Oft forgot.
Yes. Yep.
Let me grab your paddle.
You just grab my paddle. You just, well, spank my paddle and call me a rowboat.
Yeah.
I can't believe you've never heard that before.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
More common in the South, I would say.
Yeah.
So
You Southern Belle.
I don't usually talk so trashy like that.
Yeah, I thought you was a lady.
So then they go off and they bound chicka wow wow.
Yeah.
Because he said it was never over for me. Because she was like, why didn't you write? And he was like, I wrote you 365 letters. Yeah. And then she was like, okay, well, oops, I never got them. And then he was like, it wasn't over for me. It was never over.
It still isn't over.
Yes. And then grabs her and they're smooching in the rain.
Then they brown chicken, brown cow.
Yes, exactly. Yes. They go inside and then they spend the entire night together. And then the next day he's like, I had to go, but follow the arrows to a surprise. And she goes running in. So what she had said to Lon, why she needed to go to Seabrook was, she said, I don't paint anymore. I used to love to paint. And when she gets to the house with Noah and whatever, he had set up a whole painting room for her. Yeah. And so she follows the arrows into this room that overlooks the river in this house like they had talked about, and everything is there to paint. And so she brings her painting stuff down and she's painting on the patio and whatever, and they spend more time together. But then I don't remember. They didn't clue us into...
What do you think Noah was thinking?
I think he was thinking, I have choring to do.
I better get done.
I
need some new oars for our boat.
So then Mom shows up because she knew exactly where she was going to be going.
Yes.
And so Mom's knocking on the door. She comes down and she's like, oh, Mom's here. And Mom's like, basically, she was like, well, Lon got worried. Your father spilled the beans on where you were going to be going. So he's here in Seabrook and he's going to basically scoop you up and take you back home or whatever. But Missy, you've got some splaining to do.
Yeah.
And so she says, get dressed. I'm going to take you somewhere. I want to show you something. And this was probably the most tender mother-daughter moment
for sure.
of the movie.
She says, I just want you to have all the information if you're going to make a decision.
Yeah. Yes. What decision do you think Mom had an ulterior motive? Do you think Mom wanted to show her, like, this is your future with a dirty, industrious man? So. Or no? You think she was just...
I think it was a genuine... I don't think she's necessarily pushing her one way or the other. I think
Which is an interesting change from
because it's like you said, it's really the only moment where we see her genuinely just accepting whatever Allie wants to do, Allie can do, and,
Right.
and I'm here for you. I think that's the only time throughout the movie that she displays that.
Yeah. So we're talking about the scene where they load up in the car and they go for a drive, and she takes her to the mill or whatever.
The quarry.
The quarry, yeah. She says,
See that man over there?
"Oh, do it again."
I used to
Slap his
brown chicken
paddles.
brown. Yeah. Used to row each other's boats all the time. We was crazy.
Crazy boat rowers.
Yeah.
Yep, just paddle grabbing.
We wore
all
each
around
other's
town.
oars out. Had to get new ones. Oh. But yeah, she describes how she had this young love with him.
Yep.
And that she still.
And her grandfather was very mad and whatever.
Yep.
But
so they ran away together.
Yep. And then they got picked up in the next town over. And
I think the big part of that scene is that she says she still comes and watches him sometimes.
Yes.
I think that's huge for Allie to hear. Like,
yes.
Okay, so if I decide to stay with Lon, I'm still going to have.
Yeah.
Because arguably, if she goes with Noah, she's not going to be missing Lon.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So that's a huge consideration, and I think it's kind of funny because it's like obviously Noah isn't strapped for cash if he's making beautiful furniture in the garage and
he's
has
just doing
this
it in a
huge
different
plantation house, and he's doing it by hand, and he's able to create, and it's like that's worth something. You know.
Well, and I think so if we continue on to the future of this relationship, because it's no surprise that she chooses Noah. She goes and basically tells Lon, and Lon takes it very well.
Yeah,
where
he does.
He's just like, of course I would love for you to choose me, but if you're not going to choose me.
I like how he says the problem with any action that I take is that I won't end up with you. And to me, I think his love is genuine for her. Yeah. Arguably her love is genuine for him, just not in the same capacity as with Noah.
It's the her love for Lon is 6 out of 10, a little bit above average maybe we'll say, but Noah is the benchmark, you know, which is very when you have a relationship, it's not a surprise that we continue to go back and find each other slapping paddles, and throughout the 10 years
rowing
that we
each
were
other's boats.
Yes, in the time that we were not
I have
together.
to readjust again. These old bones need to adjust.
You got it now?
Yeah.
So I think the thing about it where you have that benchmark relationship of, and for whatever it is, whatever the metrics are, I felt the most at home with you, because we did have elements of like the Jack Nicholson, Helen Hunt relationship. There's turmoil and there's all of these things that are just making life rough, but you were the benchmark relationship. Every relationship that I had been in came back to, okay, but how do I feel? How many Jessies does it take to make is this 0.5 Jessie? Is this, whatever. So I think for her, and you can't, because of just everything, because of who you are and who I am and the way that we found each other and everything. And so who Allie is and who Noah is and the way that they had gone through stuff together, it wasn't like they had this big dramatic, nobody saved each other from a burning building or something. They were trauma bonded for life.
Like a sinking boat, maybe.
Right,
or something
exactly.
Like that, with like a mantle, like in the water.
Yes, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was just they loved and then they were separated, and he was the benchmark. And once she had this thing with Lon, it was just like, I liked the person that I was better with this person. I am more whatever with this person, more myself with this person.
Now that as I'm listening to you speak, I like at the end of your life, you're laying there, you're about to check out
on the beach.
They're about to pull your card.
Somebody's gonna unplug the old life.
Is it?
I can't reach my life alert button and I'm laying on the floor.
Please?
I'm just trying to paint. I'm figuring out how I want to go.
Young lady, I have the floor.
I declare.
Yeah. At the end of your life, what is going to matter? What is going to be important? Is that benchmark? Is it going to be a relationship?
I think.
For me, I think it would be love. I think like, how did I love? How much did I love? You know what I mean? Yeah.
What type of person was I in other people's lives? Was I a person that people found peace and comfort in? Or was I a person that people are like, thank F, pull the plug on her, So love is such an intimate relationship is such a personal thing. And like our relationship isn't really impacting anybody else around us. The kids will go on and have whatever relationship they're going to have and whatever. So this is purely just for us, right? You, me, and our subscribers, of course. And But
It's for the downloads.
yes, but like what we have is just for that. And so what is your mark on, it's really not so much about what's the mark on the world that you've made, because everything is so singular. It's, did you live a good life, and did you put more love out than what you feel like you got back? Ultimately, not all of us are going to be old Bill Shakespeare over here that are going to be remembered for centuries and whatever. Most people are born, we live, and we die.
Even if you were, do you think that would change what's important?
I think ultimately it's our own hubris to think that, like, the tragedy of thinking that we all need to make a difference on the world, or that we need to be remembered forever. It's like you've got maybe two generations beyond our kids before it's like being in the paper and keeping the like newspaper clipping of something with the store or whatever. And it's like, that's only cool to me. That's maybe cool to the kids. I wish I would have had like my grandma having been in the paper. I wish I would have had that. Maybe Jacob and Erica, because they remember great grandma Claire. But beyond that, my kids' kids aren't going to give a crap about my grandma being in the paper, unless it aligns with them. If they're like, somewhere along the way down the lineage, somebody's kid is like, I want to have a bait shop, and then you see great grandma Claire had a bait shop or whatever. It's like, it's in my blood or whatever, having a bait shop is in my blood. That's the only thing that matters, is how it reflects on you. And if you can say, yep, I was meant to do this or whatever, but nothing that we are doing matters in the grand scheme of things. So with all of that being said, are you living an inspiring life? I guess I don't really care. At the end of it all, it's like, what matters to me, we've got a good life. We love each other, and we just kind of get to live in our own little bubble.
Yeah. I think that's illustrated in this movie.
Yeah.
They're at the nursing home. The kids come to visit. She doesn't know who they are. He knows who they are, obviously. And then he's like, guys, that's
my sweetheart in there.
That's my sweetheart. She's my home.
Yep.
And like, that's my Ashley. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. And when you started it with the meme about the toxicity, you kind of ruined it for me, because it's like, yeah, there is a lot of toxicity. There definitely is.
But it's young love.
Yes.
They're young and toxic, because all young people are so toxic and in their own brain of like, are you serving me? If you're not, then you're toxic, whatever. And so, yes.
Yeah, toxic.
Yes. Yeah. But now, like, their old them is very, like, it's a more refined, it's more of like, this is what matters. He moved into the nursing home to be with her. He didn't have to.
Yeah.
He moved there to be closer to her so he could be there. He didn't want to miss a good day with her.
Yeah.
And didn't want to just shuffle her off to just be kind of forgotten in the memory ward, which is very, like, at the end of it all, it was like, your kids are meant to go on and leave you. They're meant to go on and have their own lives, and they do, and they have their own children and the grandchildren. And, how important as people are we obligated to be in the lives of our parents and grandparents and whatever, and in the lives of our children. I don't want our kids to be lingering around a bunch. I mean, I like them, and they're going to come over for dinner later, but like, it's kind of like, can you go do your, unless you need something, can you beat it,
Yeah.
So
okay, that is her view. And
like,
there you
I
have it.
love our kids, but
yes.
they're like, we're raising them to be adults.
Absolutely.
And to go off into the world. And I want them to like us, but I don't want them to need us. I don't want them to be obsessed with us. I was going to say, we are obsessed with Mark
I was going to say,
yes,
the way you are obsessed with my dad. Yeah.
You are also equally obsessed with your dad. He's
a mountain of a man.
He is. He's a beacon of light in a dark, dim world.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go on a Vermont family road trip with just you and your dad.
Yeah, but he's gonna. If you're listening, Dad, we miss you. He wouldn't even know how to listen. He wouldn't.
I know. We'll have to take this clip
Yeah.
and just send it directly to him.
Yes.
Transcribe it.
Anyways, are we talking about a movie?
Yes, we are. The Notebook.
Oh.
Aside from how much, but it's very much also illustrated in how much your dad does not care about us either. Like, he likes us, but he just like, can I go to Arizona in peace?
He's
and
just like,
he's a rambling man.
He's like, dude, you're 37.
Yes.
Get over it.
Leave me alone,
Move
please.
on. Do something else.
Yes.
Leave me alone. But he has inspired us. Like, when we retire, that's what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
He's like, he gets back from Texas, and then
he's back for
a week
less
later.
than a week.
A week later, hey, I'm going to Arizona.
Why?
What?
But we haven't even had time with you here at all.
But you didn't come see how we are. Dad?
You didn't call? You didn't write?
Yeah, what the heck?
We called him a couple of times and he was just like, can I just get drunk by myself in peace, please?
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Yes. But I think the funny part about it is like, it's usually you that is like, hey, reach out to your dad. And I'm just like, fine, whatever.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much Mark Formonica needed in my life.
Yeah.
Until now that I've got him back and it's like, I can't go without it, you know?
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah.
More.
Cool.
So,
this is good. Thank you.
I wouldn't
Thank
slap
you.
paddles with your dad. Let's.
Wow. Edit anyways.
So back to the story. They are in love. They're in the nursing home. And they have come back together. They're not toxic, arguably. They've worked through all of their life together. Do you think her parents were ever accepting of their love? There is a period of time we don't know what she comes back and we don't know what their life, we know, cut to the end, they live, they love, they died together, they've made a family together, but what was their life like together? We don't know anything about.
I think they probably are. I think arguably her dad it was pretty good about whatever my little sweetheart wants.
Yes.
Is fine.
And I think Noah needed to prove himself to her parents, because it's one thing to just like, are you just going to accept this life that you have, or are you going to want for more? And he wanted for more. He did the thing. He put his money where his mouth is. He did the thing that he said he was going to do. I'm going to buy and rebuild you this house.
Yeah.
And he did, which I think is ultimately I think it's kind of that where it's like, I think they come across as the villains in the story a little bit at first.
Parents?
Yeah.
I don't think the dad really does. I mean, he's just kind of like whatever. The mom, the mom.
You did say you were going to growl about them. Yeah.
She also kind of redeems herself by.
She made a choice, which was probably very difficult. I'm willing to be wrong, but it was probably very difficult for her to have, because it's like I think about it, where like at any stage of life, when I was experiencing my mother and her tornado of who she was, I was 15. Allie was 13. You know, when I was 13 experiencing things, Allie was 11, you know? So it's like, it's a little bit different of a dynamic of like the way that I went through life and the way that Allie went through life. It is not a surprise that she is a dramatically different, chaotic person, because things were happening to her at a 2 years younger age, 2 years younger in maturity and all of these things. So that is to say that the mom, it's easy to look at that and say, well, why didn't she just make the choice to be with her love, you know, the true love of her life and whatever. But we're talking in the 40s when Allie and Noah are together, and even in like the 2020s that we are currently in right now, life still just kind of is tough, right? And we make certain choices based on everything was built on the backs of the people who came before us. Allie was able to make a decision in the 40s that her mom, you can say she chose not to follow the love of her life, and she chose security and old money over being in love and whatever, but it would have been a very different life.
But it's interesting now that you're talking about it, because she even says that they ran away together, so she did make the choice. So I wonder...
They did run away together.
Because they ran away together. So I would be interested to know if it was actually her choice. You know, or if she was somehow forced, because she did make the decision. I'm running away with this guy.
Yeah. And then they got picked up by the police, and she said her grandfather, or Allie's grandfather, her dad, was not happy about it, and arguably would have had a much more power and control when you think about this would have been the 40s, so it would have been in the 20s, and how different life would have been.
He could have, you know,
who knows,
beat the crap out of the guy, and it would have been legally just fine. Because he had money. You know, who knows? Yes,
I think now that we've had this time to work through that relationship, I've warmed up to Mom a little bit, because she does have her redeeming moment. She was just trying to give Allie a better, I wouldn't say necessarily a better life. She was trying to hold an expectation.
It's the question, though, that you asked about reality in the last episode. You had said something about, or was it this episode, where you had talked about what is your true reality? Because, so in her mind, her reality is arguably, this is how life is better.
Right.
Is if you are secure and comfortable and have money.
Right.
So to her, in her mind, she is actually providing a better life for Allie.
Right.
But then she eventually realizes, hey, maybe I'm not 100% accurate here.
Right. Maybe
she wants to slap paddles with this guy instead.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? you know. And who am I to say who my daughter should slap paddles with?
Exactly.
You know?
Arguably, you shouldn't be talking about who she should slap paddles with, period.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to light a fire in her soul?
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think it's with the information that Allie's mom had at the time that she was making her decision. She, in whatever life she had experienced, she made a choice, and she made it very clear, I love you, Daddy, you know, and they hug and they have an emotional moment about it. But there's always the what if, which I have talked about this. There's a poem called Maud Mueller, I think, where it's of all the words of written pen, the saddest are these, what might have been. And that, like, oh God, that was the tragedy of our time apart, was just, especially early on, just trying to grapple with the, like, what could we have done and where could we have gone together?
Yeah.
And Mom is living that, you know,
Yep.
what could have been. And I think what she's saying to Allie ultimately is make a choice, but make the whole choice. Are you going to constantly be wondering what might have been with this man? So
there could be an argument to where maybe she is rooting for Noah. Maybe she wants her to be with Noah. So who knows? But
I think so too. How would
so
you?
what are their chances? How would you rate them?
Took the words
How would you
right
rate
out of
it?
my mouth.
I want to sing that song so bad. Anyways,
Took the words right out of my
must
mouth.
have been while you were kissing me.
You know what song came to mind during this episode for me?
What?
And
Which one?
it's the only words that are coming to mind are to a different tune, but it's so it's
All right.
it's because when we came walking in, if I had money, I'll tell you what I'd do. And so that's the song that I'm singing in my brain is set to that tune, but it's where she's talking about the boy that Billy, God, now I've got a mashup of all of these, all these country songs. It's not Johnny's daddy was taking her fishing, and it should have been a cowboy, but it's where she's talking about the boy that dad didn't approve of.
Yeah,
and
that's.
I know, and I've scrambled
my.
my.
By Trisha Yearwood.
She's gonna marry
Marry
that boy someday.
Yes.
Good loving Tommy
Was coming up the road in a beat up
splashing
Chevy
through
truck,
the
mud in the muck. Yeah.
I used to love that. That was
I know.
That was like my song.
I know.
When I was a wee.
She looks at Tommy like, I still look at you. She's in love with the boy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's the only thing that was, but it was set to.
Why are we talking about this right now?
That's
Why is
the
this
song.
happening?
That's just a song
Oh,
that came
that's
to my mind.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, babe. It's just there's a constant soundtrack in my brain that's on loop, and it's
Yeah,
right
there
now
is.
that's the song.
Yeah, there is.
So
It's cute.
that's all. What do I think of their chances?
Well, you got to rate the movie, and then you got to rate the relationship.
The Notebook, we had kind of gotten into a bit of a spat at the end of the movie for something completely unrelated. I think we had taken a zebra cake break and then came back in a bit of a relationship torment. And I
Yeah.
was trying not to cry to how sad the movie was because I had this like simmer of like baby rage going on. And then I sat there and I like angry cried tears because it's just so sad when they're in love with each other and they just agree to fade off. Do you think our love could take us away together? And
kick
it was
each
just
other's
like,
bucket.
oh God, yeah. So it's a banger of a movie. It's not a 10 out of 10, but I think it's like you've got Titanic, you've got The Notebook. It's one of those where it's just you watch it and you can hate watch it, but even still, it's like it is a benchmark movie. I would say 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rather. Okay. And then their relationship?
The relationship, I mean, obviously they make it to the end of life together and he's there taking care of her in the nursing home and he leaves his home and everything for her. There's a reason why that movie stands the test of time. There's a reason why that they are a quintessential relationship. Yeah. It's because they did it. You know, we watch them from beginning. We don't see the middle, but we watch the beginning and we watch the end. And they're still so in love with each other. So I'm going to say, because we don't see every aspect of their relationship, I'm going to have to say it's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Wow.
They die together, man.
Yeah, I think the movie for me, I would have probably rated it higher had you not made the comment about the toxicity.
Sure.
So, but the movie, I would give an 8 out of 10 because of there's some missing elements, I think.
Yeah.
That would be helpful to have. But their love and them as a couple, I would give them a 10 out of 10 because, like you said, it's kind of the ultimate.
Yep, they do it.
They end up together and they die together. And not that that's like the determination of the
Right.
10 out of 10, but.
Right.
But. And
I can get us a couple cyanide pills and we can just end it all together right now.
All right.
Okay, well, this was a borderline unhinged episode. It came from a good place.
Yeah.
Should we shout out one of our vendors from the wedding show?
Jordan Marie.
Yeah, Jordan Marie Designs.
Marie
who is, by the way, she's going to be making my wedding
Your
dress.
wedding dress.
Yes.
I can't wait. Jordan Marie is very talented.
And you're gonna weep. You're going to weep.
Yes, I probably will. You will too, though.
I will. Well, maybe.
Then I won't.
You will.
It's a competition.
Okay, Jordan Marie. It's a competition. Okay, you're gonna. You're gonna wet your hanky.
We're gonna have to have someone with like
who's got the wettest hanky at the end of it. You know who's gonna have the wettest hanky?
Mark
from Monica.
My dad. He'll just let's put special boy.
Yep. All right.
No, Mark will not. He will have some bush lights and he will be just fine. Yeah.
He'll work through the tough emotions of letting his youngest son, out into the world, burdening another
at 37 years old. Jeez, about
finally
time.
kicked him out of the nest. Yep. We'll keep coming back though. We'll be like homing pigeons. We'll keep finding our way back to old Mark Fermonic.
Yeah. Shout out to Dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Love ya.
Love ya.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And now a word from our sponsor, Chaz James from Premier Real Estate Services.
Once our offer has been accepted, the next step is going through what's called the inspection phase. Now, you don't have to have an inspection, but I strongly suggest you get an inspection because the inspection is for you. During that phase, we can negotiate, we can do some different things during that bit. And once we are able to close the inspection phase, the next phase is pending financing. Okay. So if you're going straight cash, this phase is really short, and this is where title in the background is doing their work. They're putting things together for you, make sure that you're, clear title, and we're not going to get into the minutia of it, but the white flag, so to speak, is clear to close. That means that your financing is done, you've gotten your insurance and stuff taken care of, title has cleared everything, and then we move on to the closing phase, and then you're able to close and the home is yours. It usually takes about 30 days to make sure that all of the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So.
Hello world, I'm Chaz James with Premier Real Estate, Minnesota's favorite West Indian realtor. I want to be your real estate hype man.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Love Story Podcast.
Be sure to leave us a rating and review and subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes.